Welcome to the Anatomy and Physiology practice exam for the complete A&P I and II. Do you want to pass your anatomy class without studying all night long? You are in the right place, because I have the best practice questions for you. These questions come with full explanations, which will help you get your certification on the first try. Please leave your suggestions in the comment section, so we can make better videos for you. I want to share some tips with you, so you can learn the material much faster. Read, write, test, repeat, because this is the best way to train your brain. This method will help your brain remember things, so you will not forget them on test day. Welcome to section 1 of our big course, updated for the year 2026. We will start with the basic rules, which explain how the human body is put together. Anatomy means looking at the body parts and learning what they look like on the inside. Physiology is learning how those parts work and what jobs they do to keep you alive. You cannot separate these two ideas, because form and function always go together in our bodies. The human body is built in steps, starting from tiny things up to the whole person. At the bottom level, we have tiny chemicals, which join up to make bigger molecules. These molecules come together to form cells, and cells are the smallest living units inside you. When many similar cells group up together, they form tissues that do a special job. Different tissues combine to build an organ, like your heart, liver, or your stomach. Organs work in teams to form organ systems, like the system that digests your food daily. Finally, all the organ systems work together to make you a living and breathing human being. There are 11 big organ systems in you, and each one has a specific job. Your skin is the integumentary system, which protects you from outside harm and controls your heat. The skeletal system holds you up straight, and it keeps your soft inside parts very safe. Your muscular system moves your bones around, so you can walk, run, and play sports. The nervous system is like a computer, which uses your brain to control everything you do. Your endocrine system uses chemical signals called hormones to change how your body grows and works. The heart and blood vessels make up a system which moves blood all around your body. Your lymphatic system cleans up extra body fluids and helps you fight off bad germs. The respiratory system brings in fresh air and pushes out the bad air you do not need. Your digestive system breaks down your meals, so your cells can get the energy they need. The urinary system filters your blood carefully and gets rid of liquid waste from your body. Finally, the reproductive system helps humans make babies, so our species can continue to live on. We also need to talk about homeostasis, which is how your body stays balanced and stable. When you get too hot in the sun, your body sweats to cool you back down. If your blood sugar goes up too high, your body releases insulin to fix the problem. Most of these fixes use negative feedback, which means the body stops the change from happening. Sometimes your body uses positive feedback instead, like when a mother is having a new baby. Now let us look at directional terms, which help doctors describe where body parts are located. Superior means a part is located higher up, like your head is superior to your chest. Inferior means a body part is lower down, like your feet are inferior to your knees. Anterior means a part is in the front, like your nose is anterior on your face. Posterior means a part is in the back, like your spine is posterior to your stomach. Medial means something is closer to the middle, while lateral means it is on the side. Proximal means a part is closer to you, while distal means it is much further away. We divide the human body into different cavities, which are empty spaces that hold your organs. The dorsal cavity is in the back, and it holds your brain and your spinal cord. The ventral cavity is in the front, and it has your chest and your belly organs. A strong muscle called the diaphragm sits inside and separates your chest from your belly space. Inside these cavities, we have special soft membranes, which wrap around the organs to protect them. These membranes make a slippery fluid inside, so your moving organs do not rub and hurt. Let us talk a little bit about chemistry, because it explains how your tiny cells work. Everything in the whole world is made of matter, and matter is built from tiny atoms. Atoms have protons and neutrons in the middle, while tiny electrons spin around on the outside. When different atoms join up together closely, they form larger things that we call molecules. Water is the most common molecule in you, and you need it to stay alive every day. Your body also needs big organic molecules, like carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and your nucleic acids. Carbohydrates give your body quick energy to use, so you can run and play all day. Proteins are the building blocks of your body, and they do almost all the hard work. Lipids are fats that store your extra energy, and they also make up your cell walls. Nucleic acids are your DNA and your RNA, which hold the instruction manuals for your body. Next we will look at the tiny cells, which are the building blocks of human life. Every cell has a skin called a membrane, which controls what goes in and comes out. Inside the cell is a jelly called cytoplasm, which holds all the little cell parts together. The nucleus is the brain of the cell, and it holds all of your important DNA. Mitochondria are the power plants of the cell, because they make the energy that you need. Ribosomes are tiny factories inside your cells, and their main job is to build new proteins. The endoplasmic reticulum is a big delivery network, which moves things all around the inside space. The Golgi body is like a post office, which packs up proteins and sends them out. Lysosomes are the tiny garbage trucks inside, which clean up the waste and keep things tidy. Cells divide to make more of themselves, and we call this splitting process by the name mitosis. Mitosis helps you grow taller and bigger, and it also fixes any damage on your skin. The cell cycle has different steps to follow, so the cell can copy its DNA correctly. Before a cell can split into two pieces, it must make a perfect copy of everything. If a cell forgets how to stop dividing, it can turn into a bad disease called cancer. Finally, we need to look at human tissues, which are groups of cells working very hard together. There are 4 main types of tissues inside, and they each have a special job to do. Epithelial tissue covers the outside of your body, and it also lines your inside parts too. Connective tissue holds your whole body firmly together, and it gives you your shape and support. Muscle tissue is made to pull and contract, which is how you are able to move around. Nervous tissue sends quick electrical signals inside you, so your brain can talk to your body. Understanding these tissues is a great starting point, so you can learn about the bigger organs later. Let us focus on the covering tissue first, because it is the shield for your body. Epithelial cells sit very close to each other, so they can block bad germs from entering. They do not have their own blood vessels, so they get food from the tissues underneath. Some of these covering tissues are very flat, which helps air and fluid pass through quickly. Other covering tissues look like tall blocks, and they are great at making and releasing fluids. Now let us talk about the connective tissue, which is the most common stuff inside you. Bone is a very hard connective tissue, which makes your skeleton strong enough to support you. Blood is actually a liquid connective tissue, which carries oxygen and food to all your cells. Fat is a soft and squishy connective tissue, which keeps you warm during the cold winter. Cartilage is a tough and bendable connective tissue, which protects the ends of all your bones. Muscle tissue comes in 3 very different types. and you need all of them to live. Skeletal muscle attaches directly to your many bones, and you control it when you want to move. Cardiac muscle is found only in your heart, and it pumps blood without you even thinking. Smooth muscle wraps around your stomach and pipes, pushing food and blood through your entire body. Nervous tissue is made of special branching cells, which we call neurons in the medical field. These neurons talk to each other using electricity, which allows you to think and feel pain. They have helper cells called the neuroglia, which keep the main neurons safe, fed, and happy. By knowing these 4 basic tissue types well, you will understand how complex organs are built. An organ like your stomach uses all 4, so it can do its big digestion job. The inside lining is the protecting epithelial tissue, while smooth muscle helps churn up the food. Connective tissue holds the whole stomach structure together, and nervous tissue tells it when to work. 1. Can you tell me what the study of human body structures is called in this class? The specific study of human body structures and parts is known as the science of anatomy. Anatomy involves looking at the shapes of body parts, and learning exactly where they are located. 2. What do we call the careful study of how the human body parts work and function? The study of how our body parts work and function every day is called human physiology. Physiology helps us understand the chemical and physical processes, which keep the human body alive daily. 3. What is the smallest living unit of structure and function inside the entire human body system? The smallest living unit of life inside the entire human body system is simply the cell. Cells are the basic building blocks of life, and they do all the jobs inside you. 4. What do we call a group of similar cells working together to perform a specific job? A group of similar cells working closely together to perform a specific job is a tissue. Tissues combine forces to perform special tasks, like moving your bones or protecting your outer skin. 5. Which specific body system uses chemical hormones to control your growth and regulate your daily energy? The specific system that uses chemical hormones to control your body is the human endocrine system. The endocrine system drops hormones straight into your blood, which change show your body works daily. 6. Which important body system pumps your blood and delivers fresh oxygen to all your hungry cells? The important system that pumps your blood all around your body is the human cardiovascular system. This system includes your heart and your blood vessels, which act as a delivery service inside. 7. What is the special term for the body keeping a stable and balanced internal environment safely? The special term for maintaining a stable and balanced internal environment is simply known as homeostasis. Homeostasis keeps your temperature and your blood sugar normal, so you do not get sick easily. 8. Which directional term means that a body part is located closer to the middle of you? The specific directional term that means closer to the middle of your body is called medial. We use the word medial to describe parts like the nose, which sit exactly in the center. 9. Which body cavity is located in the back and safely holds your brain and spinal cord? The specific space that holds your brain and your spinal cord is called the dorsal cavity. The dorsal cavity is surrounded by very hard bones, which protect your delicate nervous system parts. 10. What is the most common simple molecule found inside the human body that keeps you alive? The most common and simple molecule inside the entire human body is just pure liquid water. Water fills up your cells and your blood, and it helps wash away all the bad waste. 11. Which major organic molecule gives your body the quick energy it needs to run and play? The major organic molecule that gives your body very quick energy is known as a carbohydrate. Your digestive system breaks down these carbohydrates into simple sugars, which fuel all of your cells. 12. What is the main control center of a cell that safely holds all of your important DNA? The main control center of the cell that protects your DNA is known as the nucleus. The nucleus gives all the big orders to the cell, so it knows exactly what to do. 13. What is the special name for the cell division process that helps you grow much bigger? The special name for the cell division process that builds your body is simply called mitosis. Mitosis creates two perfectly identical cells from one cell, which helps heal your cuts and scrapes. 14. Which of the four main tissue types covers the complete outside of your entire human body? The specific tissue type that completely covers the outside of your human body is epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue acts like a very strong wall, keeping out all the dirt and the bad germs. 15. Which specific type of muscle tissue is only located inside the walls of your beating heart? The specific type of muscle tissue found only in your beating heart is called cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle pumps your blood constantly without ever stopping, and you do not have to think about it. Thank you for reading the first part of this course, and I hope you learned something. Please check the video description down below, so you can get the full complete course today. Section 2, where we will look at your skin and your strong bones. I am so glad you are here, because we have a lot of fun things to learn. Grab your notebook and a pen, so you can write down all of these great tips. Let us start with your skin, which doctors call the integumentary system in the medical field. Your skin is the largest organ, and it wraps around you like a very thick blanket. It keeps your inside parts safe, and it stops bad germs from getting into your blood. Your skin has 3 main layers, and each layer has a very special job to do. The top layer is the epidermis, which is the part of the skin that you can see. This top layer is made of dead cells, which fall off your body every single day. Right under the top layer, we find the middle layer that is called the thick dermis. The dermis is where the magic happens, because it holds your hair roots and your sweat glands. It also has many tiny blood vessels, which bring food and oxygen to your skin cells. The bottom layer is the hypodermis, which is mostly made of soft and squishy yellow fat. This fat keeps your body very warm, especially when you go outside in the cold snow. It also acts like a soft cushion, which protects your muscles when you fall down hard. Your skin helps control your heat, which is a great example of maintaining your body balance. When you get too hot outside, your skin opens up small holes to release some salty sweat. This sweat cools you down quickly, so you do not get sick from the hot summer sun. Your skin also makes vitamin D, which you need to build very strong and healthy bones. When the bright sunlight hits your skin, your body starts to make this healthy vitamin inside. Without enough vitamin D in you, your bones would become very weak and break quite easily. Now we will look at your bones, which make up the big skeletal system inside you. An adult human has exactly 206 bones, which give your body its lovely shape. Without a skeleton to hold you up, you would look like a big puddle of soft jelly. Your bones have many important jobs, like protecting your soft organs from getting hurt or crushed. Your hard skull protects your brain, and your rib cage keeps your beating heart very safe. Bones also act like strong levers, which your muscles pull on so you can walk around. Did you know that your bones store things, like the calcium that you get from drinking milk? When your blood needs more calcium, your bones will release some of it into your bloodstream. Inside the middle of your bones, you will find a soft red jelly called the bone marrow. This red bone marrow is very busy, because it makes all of your new red blood cells. It also makes white blood cells, which are the brave soldiers that fight off bad sickness. Bones are truly amazing organs, because they are alive and they grow with you over time. We divide your skeleton into 2 parts, so it is much easier for us to study today. The axial skeleton is the middle part, which includes your skull, your spine, and your heavy ribs. This middle part forms the main axis, and it protects the most sensitive parts of you. The appendicular skeleton is the second part, which includes your arms, your legs, and your shoulders. This outer part helps you move around, so you can reach for things and run very fast. Your shoulders connect your arms, while your hips connect your heavy legs to your main body. Let us talk about long bones, which are found in your arms and your long legs. A long bone has a long shaft, and it has 2 big ends that form your joints. The outside is made of compact bone, which is very heavy, hard, and extremely strong outside. The inside of the bone ends is made of something we call the spongy bone tissue. Spongy bone looks like a kitchen sponge, because it has many little holes filled with red marrow. This makes the bone much lighter, so you do not have to carry too much heavy weight. Now we must learn about joints, which are the places where 2 different bones meet together. Without joints connecting your solid bones, you would not be able to bend your knees or elbows. Some joints do not move at all, like the tight zigzag lines on your human skull. Other joints let you move a little, like the joints located right between your backbones. Most of your joints move very freely, and we call these the freely movable synovial joints. These joints have a slippery fluid inside, which acts like oil to keep them moving smoothly. A hinge joint works like a door, which lets your elbow bend up and bend back down. A ball and socket joint is different, because it lets your shoulder move in a big circle. You have strong bands called ligaments, which hold your bones together tightly at these movable joints. Sometimes people stretch their ligaments too much, and this painful injury is called a joint sprain. To fix a bad joint sprain, you should rest and put some cold ice on the pain. Your bones can also break under pressure, and doctors call this a bone fracture in the hospital. When a bone breaks into 2 pieces, your body starts fixing it on the very same day. First, a big blood clot forms, which stops the bleeding and brings building cells to the area. Then a soft patch forms over it, which slowly turns into a brand new hard bone completely. You must take care of your bones by eating good food and doing a lot of exercise. When you jump and run outside, your bones feel the weight and they grow much stronger inside. If you sit on the couch forever, your bones will slowly become thin and very weak later. Older people sometimes get weak bones, and doctors call this bad condition by the name osteoporosis. This disease makes bones look like Swiss cheese, which means they have too many large holes. To prevent this from happening to you, drink your milk and stay active every single day. We also need to mention your cartilage, which is the soft tissue on the ends of bones. Cartilage is like a rubber bumper, which stops your hard bones from rubbing against each other. You also have a cartilage in your nose, and it gives your 2 ears their funny floppy shape. As you get much older in life, your cartilage can wear away and cause you some pain. This common pain is called arthritis, and it makes your joints feel very stiff in the morning. Doctors can help you manage this pain by giving you special medicine to reduce the joint swelling. Point 1. What is the name of the top skin layer that we can easily see with our eyes? The top skin layer that you can see on your body is called the human epidermis. This outer layer protects you from dirt, and it makes new cells to replace the old ones daily. 2. Which middle skin layer holds your hair roots, your tiny blood vessels, and your sweat glands? The thick middle layer of your skin is completely known by doctors as the dermis. The dermis is very strong and stretchy, which gives your human skin its great shape and feeling. 3. What is the soft bottom layer of skin made of, which keeps you warm in winter? The soft bottom layer is the hypodermis, which is mostly made of squishy yellow body fat. This fat acts like a thick winter coat, which locks your body heat safely inside of you. 4. What healthy vitamin does your skin make when you spend time out in the bright sunlight? Your human skin makes vitamin D when it is exposed to the bright and sunny light outside. You need this special vitamin every day, so your body can build very strong and heavy bones. 5. Exactly how many total bones are found inside the body of a normal adult human being? A normal grown adult human has exactly 206 bones inside their whole complete body. When you are a baby you have more bones, but some of them join together as you grow. 6. What do we call the red jelly inside your bones, which builds brand new blood cells? The red jelly that builds your new blood cells is known as the red bone marrow. This marrow works like a busy factory, pumping out fresh blood to keep you healthy and alive. 7. Which part of the human skeleton includes your solid skull, your ribs, and your long spine? The middle part of the human skeleton is properly called the axial skeleton by medical doctors. This middle section supports your head and neck, while protecting your most important inside body organs safely. 8. What do we call the heavy and strong bone tissue, which makes up the outer shell? The heavy and strong bone tissue on the outside is called the human compact bone. Compact bone is extremely hard and smooth, which gives your long bones their amazing lifting strength daily. 9. What do we call the places in your body where two different bones meet up together? The specific places where two different bones meet together are simply called the human joints. Joints allow your skeleton to bend and move freely, so you are not stiff like a wooden board. 10. What is the name of the strong stretchy bands, which hold your moving bones tightly together? The strong stretchy bands that hold your moving bones tightly together are known as your strong ligaments. Ligaments wrap around your movable joints firmly, which keeps your bones from slipping out of their proper place. 11. What kind of moving joint is your human shoulder, which lets your arm swing in circles? Your swinging human shoulder is a great example of a ball and socket joint. This type of joint gives you the most freedom, so you can throw a baseball very far away. 12. What do doctors call the painful injury when you stretch your joint ligaments way too much? When you stretch your ligaments way too much, doctors call this injury a bad joint sprain. Sprains usually happen when you twist your ankle, and they take a few long weeks to heal completely. 13. What is the name of the bone disease, which makes the bones of older people very weak? The disease that makes human bones thin and weak is medically known as osteoporosis today. This problem causes the bones to lose their core strength, which makes them easy to break during falls. 14. What is the soft rubbery tissue, which covers the ends of your bones to stop painful rubbing? The soft rubbery tissue on the ends of your bones is called your joint cartilage. Cartilage acts as a smooth sliding surface, so your bones do not grind and hurt you daily. 15. What medical word do doctors use when they want to say that a bone is broken? When a bone is completely broken in half, Doctors will call it a bone fracture. A fracture can be a small crack in the bone, or a very big break into multiple pieces. Thank you for watching and reading this part, and please check the description to get the full course. Section 3, where we will learn about your muscles and your amazing brain. I am excited to teach you today, because these body systems let you run and think. Get your notebook ready right now, so you can write down all of these fun facts. Section 4, where we will look at your blood and your chemical hormones. I am very happy to see you again, so we can keep learning about your body. Please get your notebook ready, because we have many new and exciting things to talk about. Let us start with your endocrine system, which uses chemical signals to talk to your cells. These special chemical signals are called hormones, and they travel directly into your flowing blood daily. Hormones move slowly through your whole body to reach the organs that really need their help. The main boss of this chemical system is a tiny part in your brain called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus sends direct orders to the pituitary gland, which is also located inside your head. The pituitary gland is called the master gland because it completely controls all the other glands. It tells your bones to grow taller, and it tells your skin to hold onto water. In your neck is the butterfly-shaped thyroid gland, which controls how fast your body works. If your thyroid works too slowly today, you will feel very tired and cold all day. Sitting on top of your 2 kidneys, we can easily find your 2 small adrenal glands. These adrenal glands make a hormone called adrenaline, which gives you power when you are scared. Your pancreas is a large gland in your belly, which helps control your blood sugar levels. When you eat a big sweet candy, your pancreas releases insulin to lower your blood sugar. If the pancreas stops making this insulin hormone, a person can get a disease called diabetes. Now we will look at your cardiovascular system, which includes your heart and your blood vessels. This system is basically a big delivery truck, moving food and oxygen to all your cells. Your heart is a very strong muscle, which is about the same size as your closed fist. The heart has 4 different empty rooms inside, which we call the chambers in medical class. The 2 top rooms are called the right and left atria, which receive the returning blood. The 2 bottom rooms are called the heavy ventricles, and they pump the blood far away. Your heart has strong one-way doors called valves, which stop the blood from flowing backwards. When a doctor listens to your beating heart, they actually hear these little doors snapping shut. The right side of your moving heart pumps dark red blood directly into your soft lungs. In the lungs, the blood grabs fresh oxygen, and it turns into a bright red color. The bright red blood returns to the left side, which pumps it to your whole body. Blood travels around your body in small tubes, which we call your long blood vessels today. Arteries are the big thick blood vessels, which carry the blood away from your beating heart. Veins are the slightly thinner blood vessels, which carry the used blood back to your heart. Capillaries are the smallest blood tubes inside you, and they connect your arteries to your veins. These capillaries are so incredibly thin that the red blood cells must pass through one by one. This is where the blood drops off fresh oxygen, and it picks up the bad waste. Now we need to talk about human blood, which is a red liquid connective tissue inside. An adult has about 5 liters of blood, which is always spinning around their entire body. More than half of your blood is a yellow liquid, which we call the blood plasma. Plasma is mostly made of simple water, but it carries many dissolved proteins and sugar parts. Floating in the plasma are your red blood cells, which look like little red sweet donuts. Red blood cells are packed with a special iron protein, which we call hemoglobin in medicine. Hemoglobin is like a little sponge. which completely grabs onto the oxygen inside of your lungs. You also have white blood cells inside you, and they are the brave soldiers of your body. When bad germs try to make you sick, these white cells completely destroy the bad germs. There are many types of white blood cells, and they all have special weapons to fight. The last solid pieces in your blood flow are tiny floating bits called your blood platelets. If you fall down and cut your skin, these tiny platelets stick together to stop the bleeding. They form a solid web over the skin cut, which hardens to become a dry brown scab. Your blood travels in two big circles, so everything stays moving and fresh all the time. The pulmonary circle goes from the right heart directly to the lungs to get new oxygen. The systemic circle goes from the left heart and delivers blood to all your distant toes. Your resting heart rate is a good way to measure how healthy your strong heart is. A normal adult heart beats about 70 times in a single minute when they are resting. When you're on outside or play hard sports, your heart will beat much faster than normal. We also check your human blood pressure, which is how hard the blood pushes the pipes. The top number is the systolic pressure level, when your heavy heart pushes the blood out. The bottom number is the diastolic pressure level, when your soft heart relaxes to fill up. If your blood pressure is always too high, it can easily damage your sensitive blood vessels. To keep your heart and blood totally healthy, you must eat green vegetables and run daily. Smoking cigarettes is very bad for your heart, because it makes your blood vessels very hard. Your lymphatic system is a helper system, which completely cleans up the extra watery body fluid. When blood flows through your tiny capillaries, some clear water leaks out into your muscle tissues. The lymphatic vessels suck up this extra water, and they carry it back to your heart. Along the way, this clear fluid passes through lymph nodes, which are tiny cleaning water filters. Lymph nodes are packed with brave white cells, which easily trap and kill any bad germs. If you are sick with a bad cold, your neck lymph nodes might swell and hurt. Your spleen is the largest organ in the system, sitting on the left side of your belly. The spleen completely filters your circulating human blood, and it removes the old tired red cells. 1. What are the special chemical signals that travel slowly through your completely filled body blood? The special chemical signals traveling inside your blood are fully known as human hormones. Hormones move around slowly in the blood, so they can reach the targeted organ safely. 2. Which small brain part acts exactly like the big boss of your chemical endocrine system? The tiny brain part that bosses around your chemical system is called the completely bossy hypothalamus. The hypothalamus sends out strict orders, so the other glands know exactly what to do. 3. What do doctors completely call the main master gland, which controls all the other body glands? The main master gland that controls the other glands is completely known as the tiny pituitary. The pituitary sits inside your head and tells your long bones to grow much taller daily. 4. Which butterfly-shaped gland sits safely inside of your front neck to control your body energy? The butterfly-shaped gland sitting safely in your neck is fully called the human thyroid gland. The thyroid totally controls your body speed, so you do not feel totally cold and tired. 5. Which large belly gland completely releases the insulin hormone to naturally lower your fast blood sugar? The large belly gland that releases the insulin hormone is simply called the wet human pancreas. Insulin works to grab sugar from the blood, delivering it quickly into your totally hungry cells. 6. What are the two big bottom working rooms of the human heart completely called in medical class? The two big bottom working rooms of the human heart are completely known as the heavy ventricles. The heavy ventricles pump the fresh red blood, completely sending it to your far distant toes. 7. What do medical doctors completely call the strong one-way doors inside of your fast-beating heart? The strong one-way doors inside of your beating heart are completely known as the closing valves. Heart valves carefully close extremely tight to prevent your blood from painfully flowing backwards each single time. 8. What is the true medical name for the thick, strong blood vessels that carry flowing blood away? The medical name for the thick blood vessels carrying blood away is simply called the pushing arteries. Arteries must be very thick and extremely strong, because the pushing blood pressure is extremely dangerous and high. 9. What are the extremely tiny thin blood vessels called, where the fresh oxygen is safely dropped off? The extremely tiny blood vessels inside of your moving body are completely known as thin capillaries. Capillaries are incredibly small and tight tubes, connecting your big strong arteries directly to your thinner blue veins. 10. What is the common yellow liquid part of your human blood completely called by the smart doctors? The yellow liquid part of your human blood is fully called the wet and salty blood plasma. Blood plasma holds mostly clean pure water, safely carrying all the dissolved sugars and extra body-building proteins. 11. What heavy iron protein is naturally packed inside of your many floating red blood cells moving today? The heavy iron protein completely packed inside of your red blood cells is carefully called the red hemoglobin. Hemoglobin totally acts like a sticky wet sponge, quickly grabbing fresh oxygen from your deep wide breathing lungs. 12. Which important blood cells act totally like brave soldiers to completely destroy the dangerous moving bad germs? The important blood cells acting like brave strong soldiers are simply called the white blood fighting cells. White blood cells patrol your moving body completely, so they can safely keep you perfectly healthy almost always. 13. Which tiny floating broken pieces inside of your human blood carefully stick together to stop the bleeding? The tiny floating broken pieces that completely stick tightly together are easily called your tiny blood scabbing platelets. Platelets build a completely hard protective scab, safely blocking the deep red cut on your soft outer skin. 14. What do we carefully call the top blood pressure pushing number, exactly when the strong heart totally pushes? The top blood pressure number from a heavy pushing heart is completely called the strong systolic pushing pressure. Systolic pressure is completely and carefully measured, exactly when your heart squeezes very hard to pump out blood. 15. Which nice helper body system safely cleans up the completely extra watery fluid from your wet soft tissues? The nice helper body system that safely cleans up the extra clear fluid is the watery lymphatic system. The lymphatic system easily traps moving bad germs, completely using tiny wet cleaning filters called the lymph nodes. You did a very great job, so please get ready for the next fun section. Be sure to check the description down below, so you can easily get the full course today. Section 5, where we will look at your breathing and digestion. I am really proud of you for coming back, because we are learning so much together. Grab your special notebook and a good pen, so you are totally ready for this lesson. Let us begin with your respiratory system, which is the system that helps you breathe. The main job of this amazing system is to bring fresh oxygen into your whole body. It also gets rid of the carbon dioxide, which is a bad waste gas that you produce. When you take a big deep breath, the fresh air enters through your nose or your mouth. The air then travels down your throat, through a long tube called the human pharynx. Next it passes through your larynx, which is your voice box that lets you talk and sing. After the larynx, the air goes down into the long windpipe that we call the human trachea. The trachea splits into two smaller tubes, and these tubes are called your main bronchi. One bronchus tube goes into your right lung, while the other goes into your left lung. Inside your lungs, these tubes get smaller, like the branches of a very large tree. At the very end of the smallest branches, we find tiny air sacs called the alveoli. These little air sacs look like a bunch of grapes, and you have millions of them inside you. This is where the gas exchange happens, between your breathing lungs and your moving blood. The walls of these tiny air sacs are very thin, so the gases can pass right through them. Oxygen moves from the air sacs into your blood, while carbon dioxide moves from the blood out. Breathing is a mechanical process, which means it uses your muscles to work properly. The main muscle for breathing is the diaphragm, which is a big flat muscle under your lungs. When your diaphragm pulls down flat, your lungs expand and you breathe air in deeply. When your diaphragm relaxes and moves up, your lungs get smaller and you breathe air out. You also have these small breathing muscles, which sit in between all of your many ribs. These muscles help to lift your rib cage, so your lungs have more room to get bigger. Now we will look at your digestive system, which breaks down the food that you eat. This system works like a long winding tube, which starts at your mouth and ends at your bottom. Its main job is to turn big food pieces into small molecules that your cells can use. The whole process starts in your mouth, where your teeth chew the food into small bits. Your saliva makes the food wet and soft, and it begins to break down the starches. When you swallow your food in a lump, it goes down your long throat tube called the esophagus. The esophagus squeezes the food down slowly, until it reaches your big stretchy J-shaped stomach. Your stomach is like a big mixing bowl, which churns the food with strong acid and juices. This acid kills any bad germs on the food, and it helps to break down the hard proteins. After a few hours of hard work, the food is a thick soupy liquid called the chyme. The stomach pushes this chyme into your small intestine, which is a very long and coiled tube. The small intestine is where most of the magic happens, because it absorbs all the good nutrients. Your liver and your pancreas are helper organs, and they send special juices to the small intestine. The liver makes a green liquid called bile, which helps your body break down the greasy fats. The pancreas makes strong digestive enzymes, which break down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins completely. The inside wall of your small intestine is covered with millions of tiny finger-like bumps. These bumps are called the villi, and they grab all the good nutrients from the food. The nutrients pass through the villi walls, and they go directly into your fresh red blood. Whatever food your body cannot use moves from the small intestine into the large intestine. The large intestine is much wider and shorter, and its main job is to absorb the water. It turns the leftover liquid waste into a solid material that we call your body feces. The feces are stored at the end until you are ready to go to the toilet. The last part of your digestive tube is the rectum that holds the waste before it leaves. Your body has many good bacteria, which live in your large intestine and help you stay healthy. These good bacteria make some important vitamins, and they help you digest the tough plant fibers. The whole digestion journey takes about a day, from the time you eat to the time you poop. You need to eat a lot of fiber to keep your digestive system working well and running smoothly. Fiber helps to push the waste through, and it stops you from getting very badly constipated. Drinking a lot of clean fresh water also helps to keep your whole system happy and very healthy. So make sure you eat your fruits and vegetables, so you get all the good nutrients you need. 1. What is the main waste gas that your very hard-working respiratory system completely gets rid of? The main waste gas that your respiratory system gets rid of is fully known as carbon dioxide. Your body cells make this gas as waste, and your blood carries it to your lungs to be breathed out. 2. What is the medical name for your human voice box, which completely lets you talk and sing loudly? The medical name for your human voice box is completely known as your amazing larynx. The larynx has vocal cords inside of it, which vibrate very quickly to make different sounds. 3. What is the correct medical name for your long human windpipe, which carries the fresh air to your lungs? The correct medical name for your long human windpipe is simply called your amazing trachea. The trachea is a very strong and flexible tube, which is held open by rings of tough cartilage. 4. What are the millions of tiny little air sacs completely called, which are found inside your breathing lungs? The millions of tiny little air sacs inside your lungs are completely known as your manalveoli. This is the exact place where the fresh oxygen moves from your lungs directly into your flowing blood. 5. What is the big flat muscle located under your lungs, which completely helps you to breathe in? The big flat muscle located under your lungs is completely known as your human diaphragm. When your diaphragm muscle contracts and pulls down, it makes your lungs fill up with fresh air. 6. What is the first part of your long digestive tube, where your teeth chew up all your food? The very first part of your long digestive tube is simply called your human mouth. Digestion starts here with chewing and saliva, which breaks down the food into smaller pieces to swallow. 7. What is the long throat tube that squeezes the food down from your mouth to your stomach? The long throat tube that squeezes your food down is completely called your wet esophagus. The esophagus uses special muscle waves to push the soft food lump down into your full stomach. 8. What is the green liquid made by your liver, which helps your body break down greasy fats? The green liquid made by your liver that breaks down fats is completely known as body bile. Bile acts just like soap, breaking big fat drops into tiny little drops that are easier to digest. 9. Which important helper organ makes the strong digestive enzymes that break down all your food molecules? The important helper organ that makes digestive enzymes is your totally amazing human pancreas. The pancreas sends these enzymes into the small intestine to finish breaking down all your food completely. 10. What do we call the millions of tiny finger-like bumps, which line your entire small intestine walls? The millions of tiny finger-like bumps lining your small intestine are completely called your moving villi. These villi grab all the good nutrients from your food, and they pass them directly into your fresh blood. 11. Where do all the good nutrients from your digested food go after they pass through the villi walls? After passing through the villi walls, all the good nutrients go directly into your human bloodstream. The blood then acts like a delivery truck, carrying these nutrients to every single hungry cell in you. 12. What is the main job of your wide, large intestine in the human body's digestive system? The main job of your wide, large intestine is to absorb the extra water from the leftover food waste. This process turns the liquid waste into a solid form, which makes it much easier to push out later. 13. What is the final solid waste material called, which your body gets rid of at the toilet? The final solid waste material that your body gets rid of is completely known as your body feces. Feces are made of the undigested food parts that your body was not able to use for energy. 14. What do you call the very last part of your digestive tube, which holds the waste? The very last part of your digestive tube which holds waste is completely called your human rectum. The rectum stores the feces safely until you feel the signal that you need to go to the bathroom. 15. What important food item helps to push the waste through your system and stops you from getting constipated? The important food item that helps you push out waste is the healthy plant fiber. Fiber makes your feces soft and bulky, so they can move through your large intestine much more easily. You have made it through another section, and you are getting so much smarter today. Please remember to check the video description below, so you can get the entire amazing course. Final section, Section 6, where we will discuss your urinary and reproductive systems. You have made it to the very end, and I am so incredibly proud of your hard work. Let us finish strong together, so please get your notebook and pen ready for our last lesson. We will start with your urinary system, which is your body's personal water filtering plant. The main job of this important system is to clean your blood of all the waste products. It turns this liquid waste into urine, which you get rid of when you use the toilet. The main organs of this cleaning system are your 2 kidneys, 2 ureters, your bladder, and your urethra. Your kidneys are 2 bean-shaped organs, which are located on either side of your spine. They are the true workhorses of this system, because they filter all of your blood many times. Inside each kidney you have millions of tiny filters, which are called the amazing nephrons. These nephrons work like a very fine kitchen sieve, taking out the bad stuff from your blood. They pull out waste like urea, but they keep the good things like sugar and proteins inside. The liquid waste that is collected is the yellow fluid that we call your body urine. From the kidneys, the urine travels down through 2 long thin tubes called the human ureters. 1 ureter is connected to each kidney, and they both lead down to your urinary bladder. Your bladder is a stretchy muscular bag, which sits low down in your belly area. It acts like a temporary storage tank, and it holds the urine until you are ready to go. When your bladder gets full of urine, it sends a signal to your brain to tell you. When you decide to go to the bathroom, the urine leaves your body through another tube. This final exit tube is called the urethra, and it is the last stop on the journey. You must drink plenty of clean water to keep your urinary system flushed out and healthy. Now we will look at the reproductive system, which allows humans to create new babies. The male and female reproductive systems are very different from each other in shape. The male system is designed to make sperm, while the female system is made to grow a baby. Let us look at the male system first, which has 2 main organs called the testes. The testes are held in a skin sac, and they have 2 very important jobs to do. First, they produce millions of tiny sperm cells, which are the male reproductive cells in the body. Second, the testes make the male hormone, which is a chemical called human testosterone. Testosterone is what causes boys to develop and get a deeper voice and grow facial hair. The sperm travel through a series of tubes, where they mix with special fluids to make semen. Now let us look at the female system, which is designed to carry a baby for 9 months. The main organs are the 2 ovaries, the fallopian tubes, the uterus, and the vagina. The ovaries are small almond-shaped organs, and they hold all of a woman's eggs inside. Each month an egg is released from an ovary, in a process we call human ovulation. The egg then travels into a fallopian tube, which is a tube that connects to the uterus. If a sperm meets the egg in this tube, the egg can become fertilized and start to grow. A fertilized egg then travels down to the strong muscular organ called the uterus. The uterus is also called the womb, and it is where a baby grows for 9 months. The walls of the uterus are thick, and they provide the perfect home for a growing baby. The vagina is a muscular canal in the body, which connects the uterus to the outside world. It is the passageway that a baby uses when it is born after 9 long months. The female body also produces hormones, which are called estrogen and progesterone in our class. These hormones control the monthly cycle, and they prepare the woman's body for a pregnancy. If an egg is not fertilized by a sperm, the lining of the uterus breaks down and leaves. This monthly bleeding is called menstruation, or what most people just call a woman's period. The journey of creating a new life begins when a single sperm fertilizes an egg. This new single cell is called a zygote, and it begins to divide and grow very quickly. It becomes a tiny ball of many cells, which implants itself into the soft uterine wall. Here it develops into an embryo, and later it becomes what we call a human fetus. The growing baby gets all of its food and oxygen through a special organ called the placenta. After about 40 weeks of growing time, the baby is finally ready to be born. 1. What is the main job of your very important urinary system inside of your human body? The main job of the urinary system is to filter your blood and remove liquid waste as urine. This system cleans your blood constantly to keep the right balance of water and salts inside you. 2. What are the 2 bean-shaped organs called, which do most of the blood filtering work? The 2 bean-shaped organs that filter your blood are completely known as your human kidneys. Your kidneys work 24 hours a day to make sure your blood stays perfectly clean and healthy. 3. What are the millions of tiny filtering units called, which are located inside of each kidney? The millions of tiny filtering units inside of your kidneys are completely called the nephrons. Nephrons are the true workers, pulling all the bad waste products out of your circulating blood daily. 4. What is the name of the 2 long thin tubes, which carry urine from the kidneys to the bladder? The 2 long thin tubes that carry urine away from the kidneys are called the human ureters. These tubes use muscle contractions to push the urine down into the storage bladder below them. 5. What is the stretchy muscular bag called, which safely stores your urine until you are ready? The stretchy muscular bag that stores your urine is completely known as your urinary bladder. The bladder can expand to hold a lot of urine, which is why you do not have to go constantly. 6. What is the main purpose of the human reproductive system, for both men and for women? The main purpose of the human reproductive system is to create new human life by making babies. This system ensures that the human species can continue by producing the next generation of people. 7. What are the main reproductive organs in males, which produce both the sperm and the testosterone? The main reproductive organs in males are the 2 testes, which hang outside the body in a sac. The testes are a factory for making sperm, and they also produce the main male hormone testosterone. 8. What do we call the tiny male reproductive cells, which are made inside of the human testes? The tiny male reproductive cells that are made inside the testes are simply called the sperm. A sperm cell has a long tail, which helps it swim very fast to try to find the female egg. 9. What are the 2 small female organs called, which hold all of a woman's eggs inside? The 2 small female organs that hold all of a woman's eggs are called the human ovaries. A woman is born with all the eggs she will ever have, stored safely inside of her 2 ovaries. 10. What do we call the process when a mature egg is released from the ovary each month? The process of releasing a mature egg from the ovary each month is known as human ovulation. Ovulation usually happens in the middle of a woman's monthly cycle, preparing her for a possible pregnancy. 11. Where does the fertilization of an egg by a sperm cell most commonly happen in the female? The fertilization of an egg by a sperm most commonly happens inside of the fallopian tubes. If the fertilized egg is successful, it will then travel down to the uterus to grow. 12. What is the muscular organ, also known as the womb, where a baby grows for 9 months? The muscular organ where a baby grows for 9 months is completely called the human uterus. The uterus stretches to a very large size, to make a safe and comfortable home for the baby. 13. What is the monthly bleeding called, which happens when a woman's egg is not fertilized by sperm? The monthly bleeding that happens when an egg is not fertilized is completely called menstruation. This is the body's way of cleaning out the uterine lining, to get ready for the next month's cycle. 14. What is the very first single cell called, which is created when a sperm fertilizes an egg? The very first single cell created when a sperm fertilizes an egg is known as a zygote. This single zygote cell contains all the DNA needed to grow into a complete human baby over time. 15. What is the special organ that grows inside the uterus to feed the developing baby? The special organ that feeds the developing baby is completely called the human placenta. The placenta connects the mother's blood to the baby's blood, delivering food and oxygen directly. Congratulations on finishing the entire course, because you have learned so much about the human body. Make sure you check the video description one last time, to get the full PDF and practice questions.